Chapter 41, Have Principles and Bottom Line. Keep your word. You are listening at novelfull.audio. These players are not honest people, let alone gentlemen. In reality, they may be the boss of a company or the executive of a group. They are more likely to be the young master or young lady of a big family. Don't think it's an exaggeration. The first-tier players are not simple. They basically know the existence of the specialness of this game, and those who knew this secret before the official promotion of Longua. Can their identity and background be simple? So, these players now deliberately lower their status in order to buy these things, and call Yunshin the boss affectionately. They can also kill Yunshin in the wild anyway. It's no big deal to die. It's just a game, it doesn't matter if you die once. But if you succeed in killing Yunshin, you can collect the backpack dropped by Yunshin, and you will make a lot of money. Yunshin also understands this point. He has long seen through the mentality of these players, so he plans to ask for as much as he can. There is no need to be polite to these rich guys. Everyone, I don't plan to use cash for all the things on the stall here. As soon as these words fell, many players frowned immediately. They are not short of money in real life, but the boss Yunshin said that cash transactions are not needed. Then we can only exchange with resources in the game. Boss, I really like your things. Can't I use cash? I promise to give you a very satisfactory price. At this moment, a female player spoke up. The ID of this female player is Shinji. She has a soft voice and you can tell she is a soft and cute girl, but there are voice changers everywhere now. Behind this soft voice, there may be a big man who picks his feet. No, I don't want a penny of cash. Yunshin refused coldly. Even if you are a fairy, Yunshin doesn't want cash. The main reason is that cash will be like waste paper in half a month and will be completely worthless. In the face of the doomsday disaster, any paper currency will be invalid. Only gold coins and various resources are useful treasures. Boss, I'm willing to exchange this material of the Slayer's heart with you for 1 million gold coins. How about it? At this time, a player with the ID, Brother Chang, spoke up. 1 million gold coins. The current game currency ratio is $1 in cash for 1 silver coin. 10 silver coins can be exchanged for 1 gold coin. 1 million gold coins is equivalent to 10 million cash in reality. This price, to be honest, it's very high. It can even be said to be a premium. But, the material of the Slayer's heart is indeed worth this price, because as long as you want to make a blood pill, you can't avoid this material. The blood pill is a very good and rare pill. After taking it, you can strengthen your own blood and permanently reduce 20% of the damage, 20% damage reduction. Permanent. Now the Dragon Country official has announced that playing this game can gain extraordinary power. These players who have reached level 30 should have also seen the benefits of virtual embodiment. One by one, they have left their mortal bodies and become extraordinary job changers. So, by this Slaughterer's heart, make a blood chi pill, and after taking it, you will also get this 20% permanent damage reduction in reality. Although this Slaughterer's heart is a low-level rare material, the delivery rate is too low. Many players have been squatting in the novice village for 10 days and have not seen a Slaughterer born. Now I finally meet one. Brother Chang said that he must take it. No problem, this Slaughterer's heart is yours. Yunshin nodded and directly wrote 1 million gold coins on the price board of the Slaughterer's heart. Brother Chang was ecstatic when he saw the other party nod and agree. Without any hesitation, he clicked on the price board and traded the gold coins. In front of everyone, this extremely precious Slaughterer's heart was taken into Brother Chang's pocket, and the players around saw this, and after a moment of shock, they also reacted. Damn! Brother Chang, you are too cunning, aren't you? You got it for 1 million gold coins. I am willing to pay 1.1 million gold coins. Boss Yunshin, cancel the transaction. I will give you 1.5 million gold coins. Everyone tried to save the situation. When Brother Chang heard the words of these players, his heart tightened. As the owner of the street stall, he is eligible to cancel the transaction within 10 minutes of the transaction. Of course, players can also cancel the transaction within 10 minutes, after canceling the transaction. The items and gold coins will be returned to the original owner. Yunshin didn't expect that this small Slaughterer heart would be so rare. These big players must have bought it at a high price on weekdays, but they still didn't receive it, which further proves the preciousness of this thing. Well, it seems that these big players also understand a truth: the cash in reality is about to depreciate. Even if the end of the demonic disaster has not come, it will depreciate. Because everyone knows that playing this game can gain extraordinary power. Anyone who has watched science fiction movies or novels wouldn't want to gain extraordinary powers and become the protagonist. The feeling of being invincible, and having a long, strong, and immortal body are what these wealthy tycoons pursue. So, now, in order to get extraordinary resources that can make them stronger, these big guys are really willing to spend money. Big guy Yunchen, I am willing to increase the price. Just ask you not to withdraw the transaction. That at this moment, Brother Chang was also very nervous, fearing that Yunchen would go back on his word, however. Yunchen said lightly, "Don't worry, I will stick to my word. Yunchen, do things without jumping back and forth. It is agreed that the transaction will be completed with 1 million gold coins, so I will not be shameless enough to increase the price temporarily. Just take it." Hearing these words from Yunchen, Brother Chang was determined in his heart, and couldn't help but give a thumbs up and praised, as expected of big guy Yunchen, "The pattern is big." The surrounding players heard the words, although they felt regretful in their hearts, but they had a better impression of Yunchen, at least in the future. When they trade with Yunchen, they don't have to worry about the other party changing their minds and raising the price temporarily. This is a person who has principles and bottom lines in doing things. If this Yunchen temporarily increases the price, although they will be happy, they will look down on him in their hearts. Brother Chang happily put the slaughterer's heart into his backpack. He had his own recipe for refining the blood chi pill. It was just that he hadn't had the slaughterer's heart, so he couldn't refine it. Now that he had it, he would refine it later and take it directly to increase the damage reduction by 20%. In addition to gold coins, other resources of equal value can also be exchanged. At this time, Yunchen also saw the hesitation of these players. A slaughterer's heart was sold at a high price of 1 million gold coins. Then wouldn't the resurrection scepter, phantom leather armor, goblin king's bloodthirsty longsword, and intermediate transcendent rune be more expensive? Chapter 42. 3 Women appear. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For the remaining things, tens of millions of gold coins are definitely needed. The only thing with a relatively low price should be the elementary demon illustration book. Tens of millions of gold coins converted into cash is a price in the hundreds of millions. Of course, it's not that these big guys can't afford the price in the hundreds of millions, it's because the gold coin output of this game is simply not enough. Even if they have money in reality, they are struggling to purchase so many gold coins. The players present here do have millions of gold coins in their backpack inventory, but tens of millions of gold coins can't be collected. Even though many new players have entered this game, after understanding the importance of resources in this game, everyone is very rational and does not choose to sell the gold coins they have brushed for cash. Instead, they keep them for themselves. This makes the big guys very helpless. There is money, but can't collect gold coins. There used to be a saying that money can solve almost all problems. If it can't solve them, it means that you don't have enough money. But now, I have enough money, but it still can't solve the problem. Helpless. Considering this point, Yunchen planned to let these players exchange with equivalent resources. Boss, I'll take this and exchange it for a resurgent scepter. Okay. At this time, the female player with the ID name Xing Ji spoke immediately. Her extraordinary profession is a priest. In fact, Yunchen noticed her and found that the other party's perspective frequently fell on this resurgent scepter. Well, to be honest, the value of this resurgent scepter is really high. Although the wearing level requirement is a bit low, the recovery and shield terms are too buggy. At the beginning, Yunchen was also very lucky and combined such a priest's top-quality exclusive pioneering weapon. In Xing Ji's eyes, this level 7 rare weapon is better than the level 30 advanced weapon she got from opening the treasure chest. When Xing Ji spoke, she directly put out a piece of extremely special metal. When Yunchen saw it, his eyes narrowed slightly. Wow. Yuling Xianjing. This is a good thing. Item, Yuling Xianjing. Description, shelter upgrade material. Adding this material when upgrading the shelter will make your shelter able to resist the invasion of spiritual creatures. In this world where evil spirits have descended, there are all kinds of evil monsters, humanoid, beast-shaped, ghost, and even monsters, and so on. Among them, the more special ones are ghost monsters. This type of monster generally has two characteristics. First, ignore physical attacks, only magic attacks can hurt it. Second, can ignore unit volume collision and can penetrate walls. In the previous life, Yun Chenli went through a dark age. That was when the evil ghosts and evil gods descended. The evil ghosts and evil gods, as the name suggests, are the strongest evil gods who control all ghosts. Anyone who can be called an evil god is the ceiling of the monster's combat power. The evil ghosts and evil gods descended, and under the influence of the evil god's breath, countless evil ghosts crawled out of hell and wreaked havoc on this world, and those evil ghosts are ghost creatures. At that time, many people, even those hiding in the shelter, were invaded by these evil spirits, and their fate was naturally miserable death. Yunchen did not dare to hide in the shelter at that time, for fear of being caught by the other party, and he was displaced all the way. Finally, he found the material of the Imperial Spirit Crystal and upgraded the shelter, and then successfully resisted the attack of the evil spirits. Yunchen did not expect that the female player named Xingji in front of him actually had such a rare item in hand. "Can I exchange it?" Xingji asked again in a soft voice. "There are no ghost monsters at present, so she can't use this Imperial Spirit Crystal." "You can exchange it." Yunchen nodded. "Really? Thank you, Mr. Yunchen," Xingji said happily. Yunchen thought, "Girl, don't rush to thank me. The Imperial Spirit Crystal is quite scarce in the early stage. You'd better pray that there will be no ghost monsters invading before you find the second Imperial Spirit Crystal, otherwise, you will have no place to cry." The transaction was successful. Xingji happily equipped the Resurgence Scepter. With this equipment, teammates can protect it at will. She said, "Please make way. I am Li Mani, Vice President of the Dawn Guild. I am Zhang Wei, Captain of Kangguan Zy. I am Shenling Shuang, Vice Captain." At this time, suddenly, three pleasant voices sounded. Many bigwigs looked back, and the expressions behind the mobile phone screens couldn't help but sneer. "Good guy. These three people are not small." Li Mani, Vice President of the Dawn Guild, is the recognized representative of the Dragon Country. Zhang Wei, Captain of Kangguan Zy, is Lu Chaoga, the female president of Tianming Group and the recognized future helmsman of the Lu family. Shenling Shuang, Lu Chaoga's cousin, the daughter of the Shen family, and her father is a powerful senior official in the Dragon Country. The players present are not ignorant. It's just that I didn't expect these three to appear here at the same time. When Shenling Shuang saw Yun Chen, her almond eyes behind the phone screen suddenly glared, and she opened the free microphone and started to blame Yun Chen. "You hateful guy. Why did you block me?" The surrounding players were stunned when they heard it. Big boss Yun Chen actually blocked this official's daughter. "I'm kidding. I don't know how many young talents want to have a good relationship with this Shen Qianjin, and the appearance of the other party is definitely not inferior to that of her cousin Lu Chaoga. The recognized #1 school beauty in Fengtian University. If it were them, Shen de Qianjin would only feel honored and flattered if he took the initiative to talk to her, not to mention licking your face and sticking to it, but at least you have to have an extremely enthusiastic attitude." As a result, Boss Yunchen blocked the other party. "As expected of you. Boss Yunchen. A role model for my generation." Regarding Shenling Shuang's question, Yunchen reacted very calmly and replied, "You are very annoying, so I blocked you. Is there any problem?" "You." When Shenling Shuang heard this answer, her small breasts almost couldn't hold her breath. Li Mani didn't expect that Yun Chen and Shenling Shuang would have such a small holiday. Lu Chaoga on the side did not pay attention to the quarrel between his cousin and Yun Chen, but focused his attention on Yun Chen's stall. I took a few glances. Lu Chaoga's expression also became serious. Elementary Demon Illustrated Book, Ghost Leather Armor, the Bloodthirsty Sword of the Goblin King. An intermediate extraordinary rune for the swordsman profession. Only these four things are left, but these four things, it's all what she wants. Especially the last three. At this moment, Lu Chaoga's expression behind the screen was a bit complicated. Really, her intuition was spot on. This man is the best among masters. She has investigated Yunchen's information. Her background is mediocre, but she has extremely high talent and strong reflexes in gaming. In the past, in all the popular competitive online games, a player with the ID of Yun Chen has reached the top of those games. This is enough to show how terrifying this guy's gaming talent is, at the moment. He relied on himself and used his level 16 strength to kill all the monsters in the Goblin Canyon without leaving anyone behind, because when Lu Menjing took Lu Chaoga to explore the Goblin Canyon the next day, only corpses were left on the ground. No need to think about it, it was definitely Yun Chen who did it. Only a genius like him, who can be called a monster, can do such an exaggerated thing. At that time, her sister Lu Menjing's expression was dumbfounded, and her rosy mouth was wide enough to fit a duck egg in. Such a powerful goblin was actually destroyed by Yun Chen alone. The bloodthirsty sword of the Goblin King in front of him all illustrates the opponent's glorious record. Only, does this guy have such abundant resources? Are you even selling such a powerful long-lasting sword? Yun Chen ignored Shenling Shuang, who was looking at him angrily. Instead, he controlled the character to change his perspective, looked at Li Mani, and said politely, "Presidently, what's the matter?" That the other party is one of the vice presidents of Dawn Guild. When facing official personnel, Yun Chen was still polite. "Even though I want to be a lone wolf in this life, but that doesn't mean you have to be isolated from the world. As long as you hang out in the world, you can't avoid dealing with other people. When necessary, you may need official help." Hearing Yun Chen's familiar voice, Li Mani was sure that the other person was the guy who made her blush and her heart beat. After regaining consciousness, she smiled and said, "Seeing the excitement here, I wanted to come over and see what goodies were on sale. I didn't expect that it was you, Mr. Yun Chen, who was selling things. To be honest, I was moved. How do you sell these things? People from my Dawn Guild shouldn't be prohibited from buying them, right?" Yun Chen smiled and shook his head. "Of course it's not prohibited. All players can buy things from me. Rather, he is more willing to make deals with Dragon Kingdom officials. The reason is simple, the other party is a big guild. Nowadays, with the continuous addition of new players, Daybreak Guild is also recruiting talents. There is strength in numbers, and the officials must have some good resources in their hands." The surrounding players suddenly frowned when they heard that the official was going to buy. "Then I can buy it too, right, Mr. Yun Chen?" Now, what was unexpected was that Lu Chaoga, the female president of Bingshan, actually spoke in a gentle tone. This made the faces of the surrounding players behind the mobile phone screens extremely surprised. The gentleness of this tone, it's not like what the iceberg female CEO would say. Chapter 43 Nightmare Mermaid Blood. Advanced Recovery Potion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Of course," I said, "any player can buy it from me." Regarding Lu Chaoga's gentle words, Yun Chen didn't feel flattered at all and nodded calmly. "Then I want the ghost leather armor and the Goblin King's bloodthirsty sword. Is that okay?" Lu Chaoga didn't know why his tone became gentler. Maybe he still wants to recruit this man. Yun Chen said, "Yes, but you must exchange resources of equal value with me. Or maybe enough gold coins. The gold coins in the game are of great use even after the end of the world. I only have a few million gold coins in stock here. I'm afraid it won't be enough to pay." Lu Chaoga smiled helplessly and immediately took out an item from his backpack. "I'll trade this with you for the ghost leather armor. What do you think?" Yun Chen took a closer look and saw a slightly surprised expression behind the phone screen. Item, Nightmare Mermaid Blood. Description, a drop of blood dropped from the Nightmare Singer. Nightmare Diva, level 50 boss, mermaid monster. They generally live in the deep sea and appear on the sea surface when hunting. When the world faces nightmare floods, they will also appear in the rivers of the continent. It is said that this boss likes to use its singing to confuse the opponent and put the opponent into an illusion, thereby killing him. Unexpectedly, Lu Chaoga could possess a drop of this boss's blood. You must know that today, everyone is a first-tier player, and they are only in their early 30s. They cannot explore such advanced deep-sea maps, right? Even if they accidentally stepped in, Lu Chaoga's team should not be equipped with underwater equipment. Not to mention meeting the Nightmare Singer, even an ordinary level 45 water monster would not be able to defeat it, so there is only one possibility: the other party should have explored a secret treasure realm and opened it from the treasure box inside. This thing is really of great use to Yunchen, but not enough. Yunchen shook his head. A drop of the blood of the level 50 boss is exchanged for your ghost leather armor, isn't it enough? Lu Chaoga asked. In terms of preciousness, the drop of blood of this level 50 boss is higher than the ghost leather armor, because Lu Chaoga can guarantee that no player in this game currently has this drop of blood, only she has. As a result, Yun Chen's side is not enough to change. I admit, this nightmare mermaid blood is indeed more valuable than my ghost leather armor. But is it of any use to us players who are only level 30? Since it is of no use, let alone a drop of blood from a level 50 boss, even a drop of blood from a level 100 boss is useless. We are now in the land reclamation period, and what we need most is powerful land reclamation equipment. And my ghost leather armor will definitely make assassin professional players even more powerful. You nightmare mermaid blood. With all due respect, does any player here know what the use of this thing is? Yun Chen said the above words very calmly. The words fell, all the players in the audience were silent and did not say a word. It's obvious, the surrounding players, including Lu Chaoga himself, all knew that what Yun Chen said was correct, and they really don't know what this thing can be used for. What about plus this? Lu Chaoga once again picked out another item from his backpack. Item: Advanced Life Recovery Potion Production Diagram. Explanation: after learning, you can make advanced life recovery potions in the smelting room. Add this and that's it. Yun Chen nodded. He happened to be short of the production drawings for high-level potions. Advanced Life Recovery Potion, after taking it, immediately restores 80% of one's maximum health, and it recovers in seconds. It's not like you have to wait 5 seconds to recover. Some medicines have recovery time. But, during the battle, the situation changes rapidly. When the enemy sees you taking this slow-recovering blood medicine, they won't be able to stop and let you recover first. They will definitely take action quickly and continue to attack. At this time, high-level potions for instant recovery become extremely important. Certainly, the materials needed to make advanced life-restoring potions are also absolutely precious. For Yun Chen, there is no need to worry, and this time, the player with the ID name Kai on the side was anxious. Brother Yun Chen, I also want this ghost leather armor. I came here first. Let's take a look at the resources I gave you. Are you deciding who to give this leather armor to? No one had competed before. Kui thinks that he should be able to get it with some small resources, but now I didn't expect that Qing Yaojin would appear. This ghost leather armor is much better than the leather armor I am wearing. After wearing it, Kai has the courage to challenge the level 33 boss that he didn't dare to challenge before. Don't miss this opportunity. I know you're in a hurry, but don't worry yet. Although I no longer have ghost leather armor, I still have other armor suitable for your assassin profession. Yun Chen smiled. As soon as these words fell. Wow. The surrounding players couldn't help but let out low exclamations. Even the three women, Li Mani, Lu Chaoga, and Shenling Shuang, couldn't help but be startled by their pretty faces behind the mobile phone screens. This guy, there are actually good equipment resources. Thank you, boss. Can you show it to me, boss? The Kai player said excitedly. Yun Chen didn't hide anything and placed a piece of equipment from his backpack on the stall. In the past few days, Yun Chen has been exploring the wild maps around the main city, and at the same time he has not wasted the 5 full power synthesis times per day. A lot of good stuff came out. Mainly from the battle in Goblin Canyon, I harvested too many good materials, and when the surrounding players looked at the equipment placed by Yun Chen. Hiss. The game-free microphones in the audience simultaneously sounded the gasps of exclamation. Equipment: Lurker leather armor. Grade: Rare. Wearing requirements: Level 20 or above, assassin profession. After equipped, strength and agility plus 500, physical critical hit rate plus 40%, back hit damage plus 20%. Special effects: Shadow stealth. After using this equipment effect, you can enter a state of invisibility for 10 seconds, with a CD of 300 seconds, 2 Cheong dagger, within 30 seconds after the end of the stealth state, back hit damage plus 30%, agility plus 20%, physical critical hit rate plus 20%. Holy shit! Leather armor with built-in invisibility effect, Kai exclaimed, this lurker leather armor is no worse than the ghost leather armor. 10 seconds of invisibility and a 300-second CD seem very restrictive, but, this 10 seconds of invisibility can be used as a killer move. Dry Ambition is extremely agitated, but what made his expression froze was. Yunchen, I also want this equipment. Li Mani also spoke softly at this time. Kai wanted to speak, pointed at Li Mani's face, and accused her by saying, do you know what first come, first served is? But considering that the other party was an official of the Dragon Kingdom and had a high status, he had no choice but to give up. Chapter 44 Blood-Sucking Mysterious Crystal. Frost Snow Lotus. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't worry, both of you want it, and I have one more piece of equipment. However, what shocked all the players was that Yun Chen said he had one more. No need to fight for it. And, still more. Everyone was really stunned. Lu Chaoga, Li Mani, and Shen Lingshuang were also stunned. They were as shocked as the players around them. How many resources does this guy have? Yun Chen was not bragging, he directly threw a new piece of pretentiousness in the faces of all the players. Equipment, Wine Chaser leather armor. Grade, rare. Wearing requirements, level 20 or above. Priest profession. After equipping, strength, agility plus 600, movement speed plus 50%, back attack damage plus 20%, physical critical strike rate plus 60%. Special effects. And follow the wind. After equipping, a wisp of wind breath lingers around you, increasing your agility by 15%, also be careful behind you, when back attack damage plus 10%, critical hit rate plus 10%. And there is a 2% chance to trigger 200% back attack damage. Phantom leather armor is an equipment that is ready to go and assassinate in secret. Rogue leather armor is an equipment that can win with one strike and escape thousands of miles away. The Wind Chaser leather armor is an equipment that focuses on speed and continuous combat, and there is a small chance of winning a prize, triggering double back attack damage. Each piece of leather armor has its own advantages. You too, you can bid. Yun Chen smiled slightly, signaling the other party to quickly throw out the resources. He came here to set up a stall and put a few things up casually, just to try his luck and see if anyone wants to buy. Then he continued to explore the map outside the main city. I didn't expect it to be liked by so many players. I can only say, Yun Chen's products must be fine products. At present, the phantom leather armor has been sold to Lu Chaoga. Yun Chen got a piece of nightmare mermaid blood and a production diagram of advanced blood medicine. It depends on whether the two players in front of him can give Yun Chen the resources he wants. If they can't, then sorry, no matter who you are, don't even think about taking my equipment. The synthesis materials of lurker leather armor are, shadow leather, plus, spiked bead, plus, revealing potion. All-round synthesis is awesome. Equipment plus potions plus props can all be synthesized. The synthesis materials of Wind Chaser leather armor are, Wind Chaser feather, plus, Thief leather armor, plus, Surge potion, Shadow leather, Wind Chaser feather, Spiked bead, Thief leather armor are all collected from the corpses of goblin monsters. Revealing potion and Surge potion were obtained from the team defeated by Goblin. Thank this team for their contribution to Yun Chen. If they knew about this, they would probably vomit blood. Kai didn't say anything this time, and directly took out 2 of his resources from his backpack, fearing that another player would snatch them from him. Item, blood-sucking mysterious crystal production diagram. Description: after learning, you will have the qualifications to make blood-sucking mysterious crystal. Item, nether poison powder. Description: the pollen of the nether abyss flower is extremely toxic. If a creature below level 40 swallows it, it will suffer great poisoning damage. Good guy, you even exchanged the production diagram of the blood-sucking mysterious crystal. Yun Chen was very surprised to see the 2 resources the other party took out. Blood-sucking mysterious crystal is a good thing. A kind of special metal. Item, blood-sucking mysterious crystal. Description: special metal can be used to create equipment, so that the equipment has a blood-sucking effect, and can also be used to upgrade the shelter, so that the shelter has a blood-sucking function. The shelter also has health value. When the health value of the shelter is completely exhausted under the continuous invasion and attack of monsters, all functions of the shelter will become useless. In this case, monsters can easily enter the shelter and kill the people or players inside. Then, the shelter also needs the blood-sucking function. When the shelter resists monster invasion, some facilities can attack monsters. For example, the watchtower that Yunchen is building now, after upgrading to a high level, it will have its own laser floating cannon to attack the enemy. If there are enough blood-sucking crystals and integrated into the shelter, then every time the attack facilities of the shelter hit the monster, it will provide blood recovery to the shelter, thus achieving long-term endurance. So, the preciousness of this blood-sucking crystal production map is indeed very high. Boss Yunchen, you also said that the top priority is to open up the wasteland. Although this blood-sucking crystal production map is of great use, that is a matter for the future. Besides, to be honest, the materials needed to make this blood-sucking crystal are not easy to get. Kai said frankly. Yunchen nodded after hearing this. He recognized the other party's words. Blood-sucking crystal is indeed a very precious thing, but having the design does not mean you can make it. Even a good cook cannot make a meal without rice. Among the many materials needed to make the vampire crystal, there is a very special one called dark blood. This dark blood can only be obtained by defeating the vampire boss and the vampire king, and no one knows what level of boss the vampire king is at present. Even if Kai keeps this production diagram, it seems that it will not be of much use. However, for Yunchen, it is very useful, because he knows what level of boss the vampire king is. He even fought against it in the previous life. And after going through hardships, he succeeded in killing it. In this life, naturally, Yunchen will not let this old acquaintance go. This Wind Chaser leather armor is for you. Yunchen waved his hand, and the two sides quickly completed the transaction. Coconut silk. Thank you, Boss Yunchen. Kai was so happy that he immediately put on the Wind Chaser leather armor. Now he has the confidence to fight against the level 33 boss alone. On the other side, Li Mani also used a resource to exchange the lurker leather armor with Yunchen. Item: Frost Snow Lotus. Description: a precious plant that only grows during the winter snowstorm, which can be used to make advanced life recovery potions. Li Mani gave 30 flowers. From this aspect, it can be seen that the Dragon Country official must be cultivating its own extraordinary job transfer power in large quantities. I think so. This game can give people extraordinary powers. In order to maintain the stability of Dragon Country, the official must also have extraordinary combat power. It can't be like in Superman movies, where Superman and the villains are far ahead in strength, and humans can only passively take the beating. That won't work. The purpose of Dragon Country officials is very simple. Even in this special period of time, those villains don't think about being the first to stand out. You have extraordinary powers, and my Dragon Country official also has them. If you dare to come here to make trouble and harm the people, there is no need for Superman to appear. Our official can deal with you villains by ourselves. The Dragon Country official is still domineering. Chapter 45, Good Fortune. Friendship from Previous Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Next, Yunchen sold the primary demon atlas to Lu Chaoga for 500,000 gold coins. As for the intermediate extraordinary rune and the bloodthirsty sword of the Goblin King, Yunchen did not sell them. It was not that he wanted to hide them, but the other party could not give Yunchen satisfactory exchange conditions. Mr. Yunchen, please keep these two things first. I will trade with you when I have the resources. Lu Chaoga said politely and gently. Li Mani felt very strange beside him. She and Lu Chaoga were also acquaintances. Li Mani was able to become an employee in the official system of Dragon Country at a young age, and her position was not low, not only because of her outstanding work ability, but also because the Li family behind her was not a small shrimp, born in a famous family. She also knew Lu Chaoga. In her impression, Lu Chaoga was a person with a cold and arrogant personality, with a high eye, almost looking down on all the young talents in the world. Of course, although Lu Chaoga was a little too arrogant, he did have the capital to be arrogant. Beauty, intelligence, ability, and means coexist, Li Mani had to admit that there were not many young men in the world who could match this domineering female president. In the past, she saw Lu Chaoga speaking coldly and arrogantly to other men, however. Facing this Yunchen, why did Lu Chaoga lower his voice? Why do you have such a gentle and pleasant voice? What? Do you, Lu Chaoga, want to seduce this Yunchen? But that's not right. This Yunchen has an ordinary family background and an ordinary person. Apart from being good at playing games and looking a little handsome, there seems to be nothing special about him. Li Mani always wondered if she hadn't discovered Yunchen's real shining point. Otherwise, why was Lu Chaoga's attitude towards Yunchen so different from his attitude towards other men? As for Lu Chaoga's advice, Yunchen shook his head. I personally never accept reservations. If someone offers a price that makes me excited, I will directly make a deal. Li Mani deliberately reminded at this time, Mr. Yunchen, the captain of the Kanglan ZY team is not a simple person in reality. If you can give her some face, she will also be considered to have accepted your favor. If you encounter difficulties in the future, tell our president and maybe it will be solved. Li Mani was afraid that Yunchen didn't realize how powerful Lu Chaoga was. Lu Chaoga is not only powerful in the game, but also in real life. A girl like Li Mani who is competitive and aggressive feels inferior when facing Lu Chaoga, although she is also very beautiful and has outstanding abilities, but compared with Lu Chaoga, she is still a lot worse. But, Yunchen shook his head calmly. I don't want to have too much contact with anyone. In addition, if I encounter difficulties that I can't solve, I think everyone here should not be able to help me solve them. The summary is just one sentence. If I can't solve the problem, you can't solve it either, so why should I put down my face and make friends with you? The reason why Yunchen wants to build a good relationship with the official side is that sometimes he can't get around the official side when doing something. If he has some personal connections with the official side, it will be more convenient for him. Li Mani heard what Yunchen meant, and sighed in her heart, thinking that this kid is a bit arrogant. Other players were already shouting in their hearts, oh my god. Yunchen is so awesome. He doesn't even give face to the famous Lu Chaoga. Shen Lingshuang was even more angry, thinking that Yunchen was more arrogant than her cousin. And Lu Chaoga, she didn't feel angry at all, but smiled in a gentle tone. Okay, it seems that my shallow face can't play any role with Mr. Yunchen, but it's okay, I will get the corresponding resources as soon as possible and trade with you, Mr. Yunchen. By the way, after a while, the Dawn Guild will organize an offline meeting for players, and I will attend it in person. Will you attend, Mr. Yunchen? If you don't attend, then I won't go either. Lu Chaoga said to himself. When Li Mani heard this, the corners of her beautiful mouth behind the phone screen couldn't help twitching. I thought, domineering president's sister, if you don't attend this offline meeting, then many first-tier players won't come. The reason why many powerful players agreed to go to this offline meeting is to see you, Lu Chaoga, in person, whether it's a member of the Dawn Guild or other players. If you, Lu Chaoga, don't go, how can this offline meeting be held? And the players around couldn't help but exclaimed in their hearts who the big boss Yunchen is. It can actually affect the decision made by this domineering female president who is so beautiful that she can't even stand a country. Turtle. Lu Chaoga wouldn't really like Yunchen, right? But the problem is that these two people should not have met offline yet, right? If those young talents in Fengtian City knew that the goddess they had been pursuing so hard but couldn't get now treated Yunchen with such a gentle tone and a slightly flattering attitude, I'm afraid their hearts would be broken, right? Yunchen's sword eyebrows were already wrinkled when he heard Lu Chaoga say this difficult woman. In his previous life, Yunchen had dealt with Lu Chaoga twice. The first time was when Lu Chaoga was level 62. A wise general under the evil god of sin used a trick to alienate her teammates, causing her to be trapped and almost dead. Yunchen risked his life to rescue her. Yunchen saved Lu Chaoga at that time because he didn't want to see such a precious top combat force on the human side die. The second time was the night before Lu Chaoga decided to lead the team to fight the evil god. She talked to Yunchen for a long time and slept in Yunchen's room for a night. Of course, Yunchen didn't dare to touch this domineering female president. What a joke. This captain of Kanglan ZY was recognized as the #1 female sword god at that time. Yunchen didn't care about his life, and dared to do bad things to others. However, what made Yun Chen feel puzzled was that when Lu Chaoga left the room the next day, she looked at Yun Chen with cold eyes, full of resentment. The above are the two contacts between Yun Chen and this domineering female president in the previous life. In this life, Yun Chen just wants to stay away from her. I don't want to cause too much trouble, but I don't know what went wrong. But Yun Chen had frequent contact with Lu Chaoga in the early stage of the land reclamation. Fate is sometimes so helpless that you can't avoid it even if you want to. I will participate, Yun Chen said. Then I look forward to communicating with Mr. Yun Chen face to face at that time. Goodbye. Lu Chaoga said goodbye softly and turned away without any hesitation. Li Mani said in a teasing tone, Mr. Yun Chen, I think you are very lucky. After that, she turned and left. Only Yun Chen was left with a helpless smile. Lucky? Not necessarily. Chapter 46 Upgrading the Shelter Again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After these three dazzling women left, other players in the main city market also gathered around. They all asked Yun Chen. Boss, do you have anything else to sell? We can't afford the rare ones, but we should be able to exchange for the intermediate and advanced ones. Boss, we don't expect rare equipment, just give us better advanced equipment. That it's hard to imagine. These local tyrants and super tyrants in reality now have to beg Yun Chen to sell more resources like a younger brother in the game. This is the game shelter for all. The money in reality doesn't play a big role in this game. Even if a billionaire wants a piece of equipment, he has to buy it from players honestly, or kill monsters and open treasure chests himself. Yun Chen saw the eager pleading looks of these players, and he pondered in his heart. He killed monsters along the way and saved a lot of things. Some of the things that are not used may be sold. With this in mind, Yun Chen said, I still have some advanced equipment and other materials that I can trade with you, but I still have the same requirement. I don't want cash. I either give you gold coins or exchange them with equivalent game resources. Okay. As long as you, Yun Chen, are willing to sell resources, these conditions are not a problem. Everyone nodded. By the way, building resources are also okay, such as wood, stone, iron ore, etc. Yun Chen added, now his shelter is only level 5, and if he wants to upgrade, he really needs a lot of basic building resources. Although he has saved some, it may not be enough. Really? Hearing Yun Chen say this, many players around him brightened up. If it's other resources, they really don't have them, or very little. But if you're talking about basic building materials such as wood, stone, iron ore, etc., their stock is very amazing. The reason is that any player can collect these materials. These local tyrant players are using cash to collect them in the forum, save so much just so that when you upgrade your shelter in the future, you don't have to worry about basic building materials. But I never thought that it would be useful now. Of course it's true. The premise is that there are enough. Yun Chen nodded. Immediately, he dragged out more than a dozen items from his backpack: cursed bone daggers, 3 witchwood scepters, 3 smelting iron armor, 3 life necklaces, 3 bone refining grass, 3 sacrificial robes, 3 all equipment are advanced equipment above level 20. Bone refining grass is a necessary material for making bone powder. These things are also shocking to these players. Level 20 advanced equipment, these players naturally have. But, it's not like Yun Chen, who can take out so many at once as if wholesale. Which monster's nest did Yun Chen poke? To smelt 1 piece of iron armor, I'm willing to pay 1,000 iron ore, 3,000 stone and wood. Boss Yun Chen, how about it? Get out of my way. You want to buy it but you're still stingy. I'll cover the smelting of 3 pieces of iron armor. I'll give you 6,000 iron ore. 7,000 each for stone and wood. What a big deal. Then I'm willing to exchange 3,000 iron ore for 1 plant of this bone refining grass. How about it? The reason why these level 20 advanced equipment are so popular among these local tyrant players is that they want to wear them for their family and friends after buying them. Since knowing that playing this game to level 30 can gain extraordinary power, these wealthy players naturally want to let their family members play it too. You can't become an extraordinary job changer yourself, but your family and friends are still ordinary people. right? The main thing is that in the future world, everyone must be an extraordinary job changer. Your family and friends can't fall behind. If you fall behind, you will be bullied. Therefore, these high-level equipment with good quality and attributes are very necessary for them. All players bid enthusiastically at once. All the resources that Yunchen had just taken out were sold out in less than 5 minutes. Among them, a young player with the ID Wang Xiaozong bought 5 items from Yunchen in one go. Asked him why he bought so many. Wang Xiaozong smiled slightly and replied, "This life necklace is for my girlfriend today, and this sacrificial robe is for my girlfriend tomorrow." Good guy. He is indeed a rich second generation who changes girlfriends faster than clothes. Boss Yunchen, let's exchange contact information. If you need help in the future, just ask. Wang Xiaozong also came to Yunchen to make friends. This guy has too many resources. Wang Xiaozong had to treat it seriously. Without his father's reminder, he was keenly aware that this guy named Yunchen was definitely a person worth making friends with. Wang Xiaozong believed that he might not be good at other things, but he must be good at judging people. Yunchen did not hesitate and gave the other party the contact information directly. Other players also took the opportunity to ask for Yunchen's contact information, saying that if they had good stuff to sell in the future, they should definitely contact Yunchen. Yunchen also added them. In the end, Yunchen found that these high-level equipment alone saved him 30,000 units of iron ore, 60,000 units of wood, stone, bricks, and 40,000 units of cement. It was time to upgrade the shelter. Yunchen teleported the character back to his shelter. He opened the attribute panel. Character, Yunchen. Superb occupation, Mage. Level 35, 1%. 4-dimensional attributes, Strength 33,500 points, Wisdom 3,550 points, Physical 33,500 points, Agility 38,500 points. No props, equipment, passive blessing. Yunchen did not stay in the main city these days. Instead, he explored the surrounding area. His own level was also raised from level 31 to level 35. Almost all the monsters in the nearby wild maps were swept away by Yunchen. If you want to refresh, you have to wait 2 days. This also made many players curse. After arriving here, they found that all the monsters around them had been killed. If they wanted to explore and upgrade, they had to go further away, which made them very uncomfortable. Now the shelter is only level 5. With so many building materials, plus 3 spare intermediate shelter cores and 25,000 intermediate obsidian, it is enough to upgrade easily. Yunchen smiled slightly and immediately opened the upgrade panel of the shelter. Sand, 850/850, dot, stone, 850/850, dot, wood, 500/500, dot, wood, 500/500, dot, cement, 500/500, dot. The conditions for upgrading the shelter have been met. Do you want to upgrade? Without any hesitation, Yunchen directly clicked yes. It can be seen that as the level of the shelter increases, the number of basic building materials required also increases sharply. Chapter 47 The 4th Server-Wide Notification. Big changes to the shelter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! Congratulations, your shelter has been successfully upgraded to level 6. Looking at the information prompt on the screen, Yunchen continued to repeat the operation. After upgrading to level 9, Yunchen took out 1000 intermediate obsidian. Level 9 to level 10 requires special metals. With special metals, it is also easy to upgrade to level 10. Ding! Congratulatory message. Congratulations to Yunchen from the Dragon Country server for becoming the first player in the server to upgrade the shelter level to level 10. As expected, Yunchen received another notification from the entire server. Wow! The players who just left the main city market were confused fast. Yunchen's shelter upgrade speed is too fast. Our shelter is still at level 4. Yunchen is already level 10. They know that Yunchen exchanges a large amount of building resources in order to upgrade his shelter, but the problem is, this guy's upgrade speed is too fast, right? Starting from level 5, it soared all the way to level 10. This means that he has already prepared the rare metals. but do you think this is the end? Yunchen once again upgraded his shelter from level 10 to level 15. All 2,000 intermediate obsidian stones are used up. Ding! Congratulatory message. Congratulations to Yunchen from the Dragon Country server for becoming the first player in the server to upgrade the shelter level to level 15. Counting the previous notification of reaching level 30, this is the fourth server-wide notification. All of them were done by Yunchen. Wow! This time, a stone stirred up 1,000 waves. There was a heated discussion about Yunchen in the gaming circles at home and abroad. It's unbelievable. How can there be such a perverted player on the Dragon Country server? Before, his shelter was only level 5, right? Now it has soared 10 levels and entered level 15. Oh my god, his shelter must be very gorgeous, right? That the players in the servers of various countries were already stunned. Of course, some players also expressed strong complaints. They said that Yunchen, the player on the Dragon Country server, must have cheated in some way. Otherwise, how could he upgrade his shelter to such a high level so quickly? And the first player to reach level 30 before was also him. How come all the good things are taken by this guy? However, complaints are useless. This game is not opened by a game company, but dominated by the will of Blue Star. All hackers and masters from various countries want to invade the server of the game and steal the data inside, but in the end they find that they can't even invade the official forum website of this game, not to mention wanting to take the opportunity to close this game. That is impossible. This game is not subject to the jurisdiction of any country and appears freely on the World Network, like a game carrier that is completely hosted on the network. These players from various countries found that they could not do anything about the game, so they joined forces and said that if the servers were merged in the future, they would definitely trample the players of Longwa under their feet, especially that Yunchen. In this regard, the players of Longwa just felt funny. Because the current situation of various countries is very serious, they can't take care of themselves. Although each country is free, because it is too free, it also means that once a serious accident occurs, it will be difficult to effectively eliminate it within a short period of time. Knowing that playing this game can gain extraordinary power, what are you waiting for? Players from all over the world play this mysterious game together. Too many people play together, and all kinds of chaos follow. One by one, the extraordinary players who have reached level 30, after realizing that they have become supermen in reality, many of them began to release their inner desire for killing and began to fight and kill in the bustling city. For this reason, the losses of various countries are not small, and many of them died in the turmoil. They all blamed the Dragon Country for the cause. They thought that it was the Dragon Country that released this information that caused them to be in complete chaos, and the players of the Dragon Country, they directly said on the international network, "What does it have to do with our Dragon Country? Isn't the air of freedom in your place very sweet? This will make you completely sweet." Well, nowadays, there are many videos about supernatural powers uploaded on the international network. Some villains even specifically captured innocent people to perform a punch to the head. In short, the foreign countries are in complete chaos. There are also signs of chaos in the Dragon Country, but under the premise that the Dragon Country officials have been prepared for a long time. These shrimps were dealt with as soon as they emerged. They didn't have time to make any waves. At present, Yunchen's shelter has been upgraded by 10 levels. The panel has also changed greatly. Shelter, Obsidian Magic Shelter, belongs to Yunchen. Total area, 2,000 square meters. Seismic resistance level, 15. Sound insulation level, 15. Insulation level, 15. Waterproof level, 15. Defense level, 15. Storage level, 15. Smelting table level, 15. Watchtower level, 15. Structural composition, master bedroom times 3, second bedroom times 5, bathroom times 9, living room times 3. Special expansion structure, sturdy steel chicken coop times 1, hatchery times 1, flower fairy garden soil times 1. Special function, teleportation, 10 times a day. After reaching level 15, the biggest change that can be seen at a glance is that the floor area has increased, a full 2,000 square meters. The number of master bedrooms, second bedrooms, bathrooms, and living rooms has increased. The flower fairy garden soil has also expanded, and Yi can plant her favorite flowers and plants in it more. The chickens, ducks, and geese in the hatchery are also hatched quickly, and these chickens, ducks, and geese are all raised in the chicken coop. According to preliminary estimates, the area of this chicken coop has expanded by more than 5 times, and at least 500 chickens, ducks, and geese can be raised at a time. After the doomsday disaster comes, I don't have to worry about not having enough meat to eat. By the way, I have to find some piglets to raise. Yunchen's eyes lit up. When Yunchen came to the door and looked at the watchtower, he found that there was already a laser cannon on the watchtower. The detection range has been increased from 3 kilometers to 10 kilometers. Whenever a monster appears, it will first remind the shelter owner Yunchen and ask the owner whether to fire. If the owner is not there, it will automatically fire. Very powerful. In addition, Yunchen also learned the production drawings of advanced life recovery potions and blood-sucking crystals. Blood-sucking crystals cannot be made due to lack of materials, but advanced life recovery potions were made in 30 bottles. 30 frost snow lotuses can be used just right. Wow! Brother Yun, your shelter is so magnificent. Full of magic and technology. That a cry was heard. Yunchen turned his perspective and saw a female character with a messy body and tattered sleeves, staring at her shelter with wide eyes, exclaiming in surprise. Chapter 48 World Boss. Dark Warrior. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Aunt Tang, where did you come from? Why are you in such a mess? Yunchen controlled the character to the entrance of the shelter, and looked at the scarred female character in front of him, and couldn't help but asked with a smile. Hey, do you remember those people from the Tsanyu team you killed before? They've come back again, and this time they called for help. They chased me all night, but it's okay, I killed all 8 of them. Brother Yun, am I awesome? Tang Yen smiled proudly. Yun Chen could imagine that Aunt Tang behind the mobile phone screen must be proudly holding her head up, feeling proud there, but to be honest, Aunt Tang's progress is really fast. I haven't seen her for several days, and she's already level 20. It seems that in the environment of the winter snow disaster, it's not too difficult for players to upgrade. Of course, I gave some land reclamation resources to the other party before, allowing the other party to easily pass the land reclamation period before level 10, which also played a very important role. I didn't expect that the Tsangyue team would dare to retaliate. It seems that I have to kill them every time I see them in the wild. Yun Chen's tone became cold. The guys in the Tsangyue team are really thieves. They already know that Aunt Tang is his friend, but they still dare to continue to chase and kill. It seems that the other party really thinks that I, Yun Chen, can't lift a knife. Hearing Yun Chen's cold voice, Tang Yen said happily, it's good to have a powerful brother Yun to protect me. I feel safe. After saying that, she seemed to remember the business, quickly asked Yun Chen with a serious face, Brother Yun, how does it feel to have extraordinary power? Yun Chen smiled and said, you will know when you reach level 30, Aunt Tang. Tang Yen snorted, you know you are keeping me in suspense. But I have to thank you for recommending this game to me. It's not only very fun, but also so special. When I reach level 30, I can become a superwoman. Yun Chen smiled and said nothing. I remembered something immediately. He initiated a transaction with Tang Yen, giving her 1,000 primary obsidian and the production drawings of primary obsidian. Wow, Brother Yun, you. After seeing the content of the transaction, Tang Yan's pretty face was full of surprise, staring blankly at the screen of her mobile phone. 1,000 primary obsidian. Now it is worth hundreds of millions of cash. The key is that you can't get it yet. Plus the production drawings of primary obsidian. This is even more priceless. I don't know how many players have gathered the production materials, but they can't start making primary obsidian because they don't have the production drawings. However, Yun Chen actually gave such a precious thing to himself for free. Brother Yun, you can't accept the reward without merit. Wait, I will transfer money to your account immediately. Tang Yen knew the value of these 1,000 primary obsidian and the production drawings very well. There is no market for them. As a result, Yun Chen gave them all to herself without saying a word. This gift was too heavy. Although she has a good relationship with Yun Chen, she can't take such a valuable gift for free. Since she doesn't have that much liquid funds on hand, she will make an appointment with the bank to transfer 1.5 billion in cash. Tang Yen plans to transfer another 1.5 billion in cash later. A total of 3 billion in cash. This is the maximum liquid fund she can use at present. If people outside know Tang Yen's thoughts, they will definitely be shocked. Although it is known that rich people don't treat money as money, the ability to move 3 billion in cash at will is still shocking. Well, the reason why Tang Yen thinks that she has to exchange 3 billion in cash is because this game can give people extraordinary power. In this way, the price of resources in the game will have to double. 1,000 primary obsidian stones, which were originally worth 100 million to 500 million in cash, are now definitely worth 2 billion. No kidding. After all, this is an important matter related to obtaining extraordinary power. Aunt Tang, no need. Listen to me. Although these 1,000 primary obsidian and the production drawings are now priceless treasures, they will not be so rare after a while. So don't worry about it. Yun Chen said with a smile, these 1,000 primary obsidian are what he just made, but it is just as he said. In a short time, in the game, there will be a new way to produce primary obsidian, a special metal. Therefore, to a certain extent, it meets the needs of players. Tang Yen still wants to continue to transfer money. However, under Yun Chen's persuasion and threat, the other party finally gave up. The so-called threat is nothing more than saying, Aunt Tang, you are so distant, it seems that you don't really regard me as a friend. Then I'll go back and upgrade the shelter. Goodbye, Brother Yun. If we have a chance to meet offline, I'll treat you to a meal. Tell me what you want to eat. Whether it's flying in the sky, running on the ground, or swimming in the water, we'll definitely arrange it. After Tang Yen finished speaking, she hurried back to her small brick house and started the upgrade journey. Yun Chen controlled the character and took 2 steps outside. It was at this moment, he keenly noticed that the snow became smaller, and the whistling cold wind became weaker. It seems that this winter snowstorm is about to end. For most players, the winter snowstorm is a bad thing. Although the rewards are enhanced, the monster strength has increased significantly, which seriously hinders their exploration. But for the first-tier players such as Yun Chen and Lu Chaoga, the arrival of the winter snowstorm is a good thing. Fortunately, the winter evil god was angry, otherwise it would be very difficult for the first-tier players to break through level 30. I have to explore more while the winter snowstorm is not over. Yun Chen decided secretly. He emptied the materials in his backpack, leaving only some props useful for combat, and prepared to go out to explore again. However, ding dong. The prompt sounded. Yun Chen saw an extra letter in his mailbox. It was sent by Li Mani, the vice president of the Dawn Guild. After glancing at the content of the email, Yun Chen narrowed his eyes. The letter mentioned, 100 kilometers southeast of the main city of Atlantis, a new map called Dark Valley appeared with a level 40 big boss. Winter, Dark Warrior. He is the last-ranked subordinate of the Winter Evil God. He is also the lowest-level world boss. And just now, the 25-man team of 3 guilds was wiped out by this, Winter, Dark Warrior. These 25 people are all elites. Among them, 10 people broke through level 30, the remaining 15 people are at least level 25, but they were still ruthlessly wiped out. So far, led by the Dawn Guild, a call for all members was launched. Invite all top players above level 25 to gather in Dark Valley, form a group of 100 people, and jointly defeat this level 40 world boss. Chapter 49 New Map. The City That Never Sleeps. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Monster, Winter, Dark Warrior. Level 40. Description: one of the many capable generals of the Winter Evil God, guarding the Dark Valley, a special monster that only appears during the winter snowstorm. Yun Chen is no stranger to this world boss. In the previous life, the Dawn Guild seemed to have discovered this world boss during this period. They also launched a big call. Although this world boss is also level 40, as one of the capable generals under the evil god, the opponent's strength should not be underestimated. Let's put it this way, even if ordinary players reach level 60, they will never dare to fight against the Dark Warrior. in the previous life, the Dawn Guild was wiped out once. And then launched a call again, but at that time, Yun Chen had just started playing this game and was not even qualified to be called. In his impression, Yun Chen remembered that the second encirclement and suppression of the Dawn Guild also failed. It was not until the third siege that Lu Chaoga was promoted to level 40, and with her as the main combat force, they successfully completed the first kill of this world boss. And the day after the first kill, the Doomsday Demon disaster came. Yun Chen carefully calculated that it was now June 30th, 2033, there were still 7 days before the Doomsday Demon disaster came. Must go. Yun Chen made a decision without any hesitation. The final result of this siege in the previous life was a failure, but Yun Chen thought he could give it a try. To do this, you need to prepare some things in advance. Mr. Yun Chen, you should be interested in this world boss. Before Yun Chen replied to the email, Li Mani's private chat message had already come. Interested? Yun Chen answered frankly. In fact, if possible, he wanted to be a lone wolf and kill the Dark Warrior by himself. Fortunately, Yun Chen knew himself, although he was very confident in his game skills, the Dark Warrior was a world boss. You can't treat it as an ordinary level 40 monster. Furthermore, the members of the Dawnbreaker Guild will definitely block the Dark Valley map. If you don't join their team, you will be driven out as soon as you enter the Dark Valley. There is no way. The Dragon Country official must try its best to ensure that the initiative of resources is in its own hands, and cannot let these resources flow freely into the hands of these mixed players. The reason is very simple. A few days ago, the Dragon Country official had already discovered that the number of tourists from various countries to Dragon Country began to increase, and, after these tourists entered Dragon Country, the shelter for all game they logged into on their mobile phones was naturally replaced on the Dragon Country server. Since the official of this game is the will of Blue Star, even if the Dragon Country official wants to block these accounts, it can't do it. Some are even more decisive and sneak directly to the border of Dragon Country and then play this game, to put it bluntly, these foreigners with ulterior motives just want to take advantage of Dragon Country. They want to play games on the Dragon Country server, grab resources, and become stronger. In this regard, the Dragon Country official can only try to control these large-scale game resources in their own hands. Of course, the Dragon Country official is also trying to get the wool from other countries' servers. Since you have come to my server to make trouble, I will treat you in your own way. Is that okay, my friend? The main thing is that this game can give people extraordinary power and also put the focus of the world on this game, right now. When Li Mani heard Yun Chen said he was interested, the pretty face behind the mobile phone screen also showed a charming smile. She continued to type, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, all the players who were called will gather at the entrance of the Dark Valley, and then wait for Mr. Yun Chen to come. With your help, I think this world boss battle will be successful. Yun Chen saw this and responded lightly, don't have too much hope for me, I am just an ordinary player. Li Mani saw this and immediately rolled her eyes. You call this an ordinary player? The first person in the server to achieve the level 5 shelter achievement, the first player in the server to break through level 30, the first person in the server to achieve the level 15 shelter achievement, and the equipment, props, and materials that make people jealous. Is this something an ordinary player can have? And she also heard that Lu Chaoga's team met Yun Chen a while ago. If Lu Chaoga hadn't been there in person, the entire team would have been wiped out by Yun Chen. What's even more unbelievable is, Yun Chen, who is only level 16, slaughtered the Goblin Canyon. Li Mani also learned about this from Lu Chaoga. Considering all the brilliant achievements above, you tell me that this is an ordinary player. It's settled, Mr. Yun Chen, see you then. After Li Mani finished speaking, she went offline. She also wanted to rest well to prepare for tomorrow's battle. Yun Chen didn't plan to rest. Now that he has extraordinary power, what's the big deal about staying up late? Besides, he is going to visit an old friend now. Yun Chen controlled the character, left the shelter, teleported to the main city of Atlantis, and then went all the way along the West Gate. You discovered a new map, Red Flower Tree World. You discovered a new map, Hurricane Canyon. You discovered a new map, Furious Dwarf Burrow. Yun Chen controlled the character to run madly. He did not stop at these new maps he explored, he even ignored the monsters along the way. I think it's almost here. We're here. The city that never sleeps. After running for 3 hours, Yunchen almost fell asleep and finally saw a prompt on the phone screen. You discovered a new map, the city that never sleeps. Map, the city that never sleeps. Faction, neutral evil. Adaptability level, level 35 to 40. Monsters inhabiting, vampires, undead. Description, this is a strange city that is only lively and prosperous at night. Under the prosperous appearance, unpredictable dangers are lurking. At this moment, what comes into view is a prosperous town with lights and colorful decorations, singing and dancing. The map information that appears also explains the tendency of monsters in this map, when Yunchen controls the character and walks towards the never-sleeping city. Stop, that the 2 guards at the city gate directly blocked the way. Yunchen took a look and found that it was a vampire guard and a dark zombie guard, both at level 36. Dark zombies are a more advanced race than corrupt zombies. If it were other ordinary players, seeing these 2 vampire guards, they would definitely think they were NPCs. In fact, Yunchen knew that all vampires and undead in the never-sleeping city were intelligent creatures with intelligence and their own thoughts. Chapter 50 Vampire King Sarah. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You are human. Why do you come to our city that never sleeps? That the dark zombie guard asked. His voice was very hoarse. Yunchen turned on the game microphone and smiled. I heard that this is the happiest place in the world. I came here because of its reputation and want to see the world. Ha! Not bad. This is indeed the happiest place. But are you ready for the money? That the vampire guard asked with a grin. Of course. Yunchen still smiled politely. Then, he initiated a deal with the 2 guards, give each of them 1,000 gold coins as a gift. Human boy. You are sensible. Go in. Since you are so generous, I remind you not to go to Rakutenfang. That's a place where people are eaten without spitting out bones. That the vampire guard smiled and let him pass, and also reminded Yunchen. Okay, thank you, brothers. Yunchen still smiled and politely, but at the moment he turned around, Yunchen's expression was completely cold. Don't go to Latte Square. I came here just for Latte Square. When Yunchen was teleported to the main city, he spent 2 minutes to look at the bulletin board. The reason for doing this is that the bounty order will be refreshed from time to time on the bulletin board. The bulletin board is usually where the game official releases announcements and NPCs release bounties for help. Yunchen took a look and saw a bounty order. Kill the vampire King Sarah. He took it by the way. His fundamental purpose is to get the blood of darkness and create the blood sucking crystal. Latte Square is the largest entertainment venue in the city that never sleeps. It is also the lair of the vampire King Sarah. Yunchen's appearance is very eye-catching in this city that never sleeps. There are vampires and undead all around. Yunchen is the only human. Many vampires and undead couldn't help drooling after seeing Yunchen. Vampires want to suck blood, and undead want to eat Yunchen's flesh. But they didn't attack rashly. Instead, they followed Yunchen blatantly all the way. They wanted to see what this human wanted to do by coming here alone so boldly. And, what powerful ability did he have? If he didn't have any ability, then I'm sorry, you, a human, will become our food tonight. Soon, Yunchen came to Latte Square. This is a small building with an ancient style of decoration. Here in the small building, there are charming and beautiful female vampires everywhere, and dwarves, orcs, and other intelligent creatures who enjoy themselves here. That's right. This game is so real. In the near future, the doomsday disaster will come, the real world will merge with the game, and these intelligent creatures will also come to reality. Oh. Human. What a rare guest. We have never had a human guest in Latte Square. Who said there has been no human guest? But they were not guests, but were sent here as food. Yunchen controlled the character to walk into Latte Square, and there were discussions in this small building full of lust. If Yunchen checked the menu, he would definitely see the human flesh category. It has fried, boiled and roasted food. Those human NPCs were captured and sold here. The world of shelter for all is indeed a very real world. Yunchen came to a female vampire with a cold expression and clicked the reward button. Directly, after thinking for a while, He directly entered 10,000 gold coins. The eyes of the female vampire who received the reward suddenly brightened up, and her originally cold expression became enthusiastic and charming. The favorability was directly raised from -10% to 70%. I want to see your boss. Lead the way. Yunchen turned on the game microphone lightly. Please follow me. This female vampire is also the front hall manager of Rakutenfang. When you meet such a generous guest, don't worry about whether it is human or not, you must meet all the conditions. Don't think that 10,000 gold coins are not enough because many players have millions of gold coins in stock. That's because these rich players spend a lot of cash on the forum to receive the gold coins. In fact, for normal players who have reached level 30, if there are no scarce resources to harvest, it is very good to have 1,000 gold coins in their deposits. Now Yunchen rewarded this NPC with 10,000 gold coins at once. This NPC must be very happy. But be careful. The undead and vampires in the city that never sleeps are both NPCs and monsters. They can be killed, and you can also gain experience points by killing them. Neutral evil. Under normal circumstances, they are in a neutral state and will not actively attack players, but because of certain behaviors of players, they will also be in an evil state and attack players. For example, now that Yunchen has spent a lot of money, many vampires and undead present are greedy, thinking about killing this human later and then selling him to Lotte House as food. Led by the female vampire, Yunchen came to the basement of Lotte Square. That's right, the basement is the true face of Lotte Square, an extremely lively and unprecedentedly grand entertainment venue. Yunchen was taken directly to an office. Inside, a thin, pale woman sat in the boss chair. Monster, Vampire King, Sarah. Race, Vampire. Level 40. Players killed, 0. Description, the king of the vampire clan, and also the owner of the city that never sleeps. Sarah is not good-looking, very bad-looking. She is skinny and looks malnourished. She has no breasts and no hips, but it should be said that even if Yunchen is playing a game, he can feel the other party's ferocity and brutality through the screen perspective and the other party's scarlet eyes. No players have been killed, which means that no players have come to explore here, or the players have been killed by other undead and vampires without the Vampire King taking action. The other party can be the master of this city that never sleeps, so his strength must be very strong. So, how should Yunchen deal with this powerful Vampire King? While Yunchen was looking at him, Vampire King Sarah was also looking at the human in front of him. To be honest, she didn't expect that a human would dare to take the initiative to see her. She didn't expect that after seeing her, the other party didn't show any fear. Sarah slowly stood up. At this time, in Yunchen's game perspective, he saw that the height of this Vampire King was actually 2 meters and 5. A pair of scarlet bat wings slowly spread out from behind her. A scarlet breath spread directly, filling the office space, making Yunchen's perspective become blood-red and weird. Sarah stared at Yunchen, and her hoarse, cold voice slowly sounded, "Human. Give you 5 seconds to tell me a reason for wanting to see you that satisfies me. Otherwise, kill."